So here's a quick update on the garden. It's June 11th, and as much as we did our best to plan the garden, it is 11 o'clock in the afternoon, and the back of the garden is shaded. As well as some of the plants on the side. So we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do, because some of these trees may need to come down. But we might have to wait until winter. The front garden still gets it, but I guess we didn't plan so well. Alright, let's do a quick garden update. It is June 13th. We have tons of tomatoes, but they're all green. We've not been able to pick anything. Nothing has turned yet. Cucumbers. We've actually been picking cucumbers like crazy. Done very well with the cucumbers. Banana peppers just have my first bloom for banana peppers. Same with these tomatoes. They're green, but I haven't picked anything. Peppers, real slow. The peppers, see, they bloom and they fall off, so definitely struggling with the bell peppers. Tomatoes, we actually picked some of these tomatoes and brought them inside and put them on the windowsill. Hopefully we can get them to turn red. Cucumbers in the back, growing. Haven't picked any off the back yet. But if you notice, a lot of this is in the shade. It's 11 o'clock in the afternoon. The way that the trees, we took trees out, but the way that the trees have really grown, our garden unfortunately is getting a lot more shade than expected. Green beans. Green beans we've been picking like crazy, which has been fantastic. The carrots, the plan today is we're just going to pull these. I just don't think that I did this right. I obviously didn't thin them, so we're going to pull them. Chard actually seems to recovered a little bit, enough to pick handfuls here or there. Zucchini has been growing like crazy. That zucchini in there. We have probably picked 7, 8 between these two plants. However, I think I have some disease going on. See all the little white dots? So I suspect this plant is not going to make it much longer. Although there are blooms on the plant. See, right there. Although I'm not sure he's going to make it much longer. The beets, nothing came of the beets. So we'll probably pull those. The last of the turnips we're going to pull. And like I said, these carrots. I definitely didn't thin them as we went along. Second planting of the bush beans are all flowering. Haven't seen any to pick yet, but they're in the flowering stage. This bed over here, the kale, we've been kind of picking whenever we needed it for a salad. The eggplant looks great. They're getting really, really big. And I do think I'm starting to see some flower blooms. Peppers. This plant, yeah, I thought I saw, do you see that right there? There's my first little hot pepper growing. Blooms on the others. And back to my tomatoes. Blooms. Tomatoes, but they're not turning red. And let's jump over here. These eggplants are just a tiny bit smaller, but they're growing. And these peppers, same thing. Don't really have much going on with these peppers other than a little bit of flowering and maybe a couple little buds. Same for these tomato. Little bit of flowers and a little bit of buds, but not much at all going on. But like I mentioned earlier, it's 11 o'clock in the afternoon. Look at all this shade. So we definitely did not plan well. So maybe the fall garden, we definitely learned, maybe the fall garden will be better, and we will definitely have to consider taking out possibly some of these trees. So there's your update for right now. Thanks. Okay, here's the update on the blueberries. We ended up taking out the netting because pretty much the last of the blueberries were gone. You look at him, he still looks really, really good condition. But as you can see, most of the blueberries are pretty much gone. So we took the netting off. We'll probably trim it in the winter. But lots and lots of new shoots growing up for next year, which is fantastic. Real happy with the blueberries this year. Today's June 13th. So here's the update on my lettuce. As I talked about in a previous video, I've not been very successful with my lettuce because this is what I typically get. And there's not much I can do with this lettuce. Oh sure, there's little pickings here or there, but it hasn't been successful. So I went with the Bubblebeet process, and look at my lettuce. I am picking constantly. I just picked a bunch last night. I trimmed off the bottom, and it is growing like crazy. Look at the difference between this one and that one. Even though this one's older, look how different that is. Huge difference. So I'm in picking some of these carrots, and as you can see, there's really not much here going on. So I will save a couple of them, these little itty bitties, but try again next year. What do you think, buddy? Did we pull them all out? All good? So there you go, pulled out all the carrots that were in the bed, and there's nothing. So maybe next year. Now in this bed, the carrots might be able to do a little bit better with a little bit of the picking, because yes, these were planted earlier, and I did try to thin these a little bit, so hopefully we'll get a few more picks like this. Let's see. Alright. Go in. I know there's a few big ones. Let's see. Yeah, a couple. But like as you can see, they are not all like that. So, let's see what we get. Keep picking. Oh, wow. That's great. So here where I didn't thin it, these are going to be small. Yep. Not too bad, but smaller. How'd we do, Oscar? Oh, baby. Okay, I pulled out most of the carrots. I actually had some that were, call them maturing. So I figured I'll leave a small handful. I think I got 5 or 6 in there. See what happens. They definitely have a little more space, so hopefully I might have a couple to grow bigger. So here's my pickings. Okay, update on the turnips. June 13th, and I'm actually going to go ahead and just pull the last of these turnips that are in here and open the bed up. I will probably go ahead and I'm going to pull these beets. The problem is these beets are just not getting any sun anymore because of the zucchini plant. So just going to go ahead and pull them both. Okay, here's the last of the turnips. So I got a couple of them.